In this video, I'd like to show you how you can use perception for mixing as opposed to mastering. The main difference between the two is that when mixing, you'll need to route all your tracks through a mix bus as opposed to sending them directly to the master output. So you can see in this project, I have all my mix tracks on the left, and I've staggered my reference track called royals to the right. This setup is required for perception to function properly. So the first step is to view all of our tracks, and as you can see, some of them are being routed to the stereo output. So what I want to do is select those tracks and send them to a new mix bus. Okay, I've now selected all the tracks. So what I'll do now is click on stereo out and select a new mix bus, bus number 21. You can see bus number 21 is going to the auxiliary channel strip. I'll simply rename that to mix bus. Now, I've moved all the tracks going to the master output through our mix bus, but I also moved our reference track to the mix bus, and I don't want that. I want it to go directly to the stereo output. So I'll locate my my reference track, and you can see it's going to bus 21. I'll change that to the stereo output. The next step is to move all of the plugins that we had on our stereo output over to our mix bus, because we don't want them to apply to our reference track. So I'll simply copy them over one by one. And that's it. Now all the tracks should be set up the way that we want. The next step is to add perception to them. The first step in doing that is to add perception controller to the stereo output. And as you can see, perception says that there are no sources. So the next step is to add a source to our mix bus and to our reference track. So here I'll add the source to the mix bus after all the plugins, because we want to compare the final output of our mix. And now I'll add perception source to our reference track. Finally, so that we can see what perception is doing, I'll add LCast, our loudness meter, to the stereo output so that we can measure the levels. So first, to get an idea of our mix and our reference track, I'll play them both and we can compare their levels. So first, here's the mix. You can see that its integrated loudness is about -7.5. Now let's see the reference track. You can see that its loudness is closer to -23 LUFS. So now what we'll do is, using perception, we'll normalize both our mix and our reference track to perception's reference loudness, which you can see is -16 LUFS by default. So the way we do that is to simply play back each track for a few seconds, click balance, then go to the other track, do the same thing, click balance, and then we can switch between the two tracks and they should be at the same loudness level. So I'll go back to our mix. Now I'll click balance. And notice that the level has immediately dropped. And it's much closer to minus 16 LUFS. Now we'll balance the reference track.
Affair, and we'll never be royals. It's a run in our blood. That kind of luck's just ain't for us. We crave a different kind of buzz. Let me be yours.
Now let's switch back to our mix to see the level difference. You can see that the two are now much closer in loudness, especially compared to the original loudness difference.
But every song's like gold teeth, gray goose dripping in the bathroom, bloodstains, ball gowns, trash in the hotel room, we don't care.
And this is very important for comparing reference tracks, because if you compare them at different loudness levels, you can be thrown off by the differences in loudness. So anyways, that's all there is to it. I hope you find this useful, and if you're looking for more videos like this, check out our website at www.meterplugs.com. Thanks for watching.